This letter tells residents either pay up or pack up. But as you're about to see with some smaller businesses around town, it's a different story.
And Amy, how did officers catch up with this guy exactly?
Well, Adam and Nina, apparently the suspect, 20-year-old Preston Berman, lived very close to the scene of the crime. He was actually staying at Ben's Bethlehem Inn. Now, that shelter is just behind this building that was set on fire Monday, and apparently it was a staff member at the homeless shelter that gave police the tip that led to an arrest.
And as you can see, that's pushing up a lot of smoke, and it's actually getting a little hard to breathe out here with all this wind in Powell Butte. This really was the race to watch. Since the polls closed Tuesday night, both candidates had been ahead and behind in votes. They all say they're playing it safe. Even if it's not on the recall list, if it has peanuts in it, it's being thrown out. And with temperatures only expected to drop this week, these people are in for some very cold nights. It's coming from tax hikes. Under this new bill, the cigarette tax would be raised from 39 cents a pack to $1 a pack. And as you can imagine, there's mixed emotions on both sides. Over the past month, more than 1,000 gallons of diesel fuel has been ripped off, and it's costing business owners big time. It's far from their typical workday.
Yeah, this is a lot different than running into a burning building.
But these former Gresham firefighters know every brush stroke, every nail pounded means everything to this man, their friend and former colleague, Gene Murray.
He's always doing something for people, so that's why one of the reasons we're up here doing this is because he was so kind to other people, and he was a good friend of ours.
Murray has pancreatic cancer, and doctors say only days to live. But before he goes, he has one wish.
He and his wife had a dream, and they found this. They recently were married, and this ranch was to be one of their dreams, to raise horses, to give riding lessons, and just make it their life. And unfortunately, that is changing to some degree.
So instead of holding their annual bear hunting trip, Murray's buddies set up camp in his front yard. They'll stay as long as they're needed.
We're taking the old doors out and going to put some new doors in and reseal them.
Murray's story has touched firefighters across the state. Crews from Gresham, Portland, even Bend have helped out. Murray may not get the chance to see all their hard work, but his friends say that's okay, knowing their friend can rest in peace.
Yeah, I mean, he would do the same for anybody, you know. I mean, he'd do it for you. There's just not a doubt in my mind that he would. And
Amy Easley of our affiliate KTVZ has a story.
Throughout her life, Linda Rettenbach has struggled with her weight.
And you get bigger and bigger and bigger until you keep going to your doctor and they go, you're just fat. You need to lose weight.
But Linda had tried every diet, every workout, but the pounds wouldn't go away. Doctors suggested weight loss surgery.
But something in my head just kept going, no, don't do that.
It wasn't until Linda went to a different doctor for flu-like symptoms that she found out what was really wrong.
He told me I was going to have surgery, and it scared me.
Doctors told Linda a 140-pound cancerous tumor was growing near her stomach. It had likely been growing for 15 to 20 years.
My doctor told me that I had two choices, and that was it. I could either live or die, and I had a 20% chance if I had the surgery. And if I didn't have the surgery, I would die at home where my family would find me. And I didn't want that.
It took doctors 3 surgeries over 2 months to remove the tumor.
That presentation was very unusual, and the type of tumor that wound up being resected was very rare. But I think it underscores that when things don't quite make sense and become a chronic problem, you want to keep looking until you find the answer.
Linda couldn't agree more.
You know, you should have things checked out, because if you don't, it could be what I had.
Her recovery presents new challenges every day, but giving up is something this woman won't do.
Wow. Now,
with all the kids, that means a lot of parents are worried that meth could also be in the neighborhood.
Well, it kind of, gave me a little shake because, I'm not used to this kind of thing in Central Oregon.
When Nick Valdez gave up big city life 3 months ago, he thought drugs and violence were behind him.
That's horrible because, drugs are just bad, and nothing good comes from that kind of stuff.
Early Friday morning, police raided a home on Northeast Wichita Way, but things quickly turned ugly when a person police thought was involved in a major meth operation was shot dead by an officer.
Yeah, I'm about to have a kid too, so that's just terrifying.
And Valdez isn't the only one shaken up about meth in the neighborhood.
I don't know, it's just kind of crazy because nothing really happens like that in Bend.
It's very crazy. It's very crazy. And then to hear the neighbor talk about meth, wow, because I just seen that guy come home the other day.
Others say they might move.
I think this is not a safe place because I told you before, seeing the police at the other apartments too. So maybe it's a lot of people using drugs around the house.
Because, as this mother says, you never know what someone on meth will do.
The people that it's been using meth, you don't know how it's gonna react and you don't know who is using it. But I'm just scared about it.
We first broke this story earlier today on KTVZ.com. Your comments have been pouring in. I'm going to read you one from a person who wants to remain anonymous, but they say, we woke up to the sound of gunfire last night. Just up the street, there is a meth house that has been busted several times in the past month alone. Now, if you look in here, this is the main office of the thrift store, and what you're looking at is just a mountain of files. These are employee files, receipts, basically any paperwork that has to do with the operation of this store. But believe it or not, the rest of the store this morning looked much worse than this. Go ahead and take a look.
Dennis Malowski thought he was getting an early start to his workday Thursday morning, but he had no idea what he was in for.
And when I came up, I saw 4 police cars outside, and I was stopped by a police officer. He asked me for identification.
The Opportunity Foundation thrift store in Redmond, which Dennis manages, was completely ransacked.
And he said that we had been broken into. He said it doesn't look pretty, so we entered the building and everything was just turned upside down.
And he's not kidding. Most of the glass windows and doors smashed. Kitchen appliances filled the aisles. Broken dishes covered the floor. The back office, a total wreck. And that's not all police found.
We did see a little bit of blood on the wall, so somebody got cut either through damaging or entering the building.
Police say the person responsible, Redmond resident Walter Lewis. Officers say they found and arrested him in the store.
I hope that they get what they deserve. They need to realize what they did was wrong.
Thursday morning, customers couldn't believe what had happened.
The people here are really good about helping people, I just think it's a shame.
One shovel at a time, workers will try to put their store back together, but they're not sure how long that will take.
But there's a lot of damage to the doors and stuff, which is quite expensive, and then, of course, the merchandise that we lost. Plus, not to mention the day's sales that we're going to lose, just trying to recover from that.
But Dennis, the store manager, says he is going to try and make up some of those sales tomorrow, regardless of all the destruction you just saw in that video there. Dennis, the manager, says the store will be open for business tomorrow, so the best way to help them out is stop on by and see if there's any early Christmas gifts you can pick up. And as far as the damage, police are still tallying everything up, but it's looking in the thousands of dollars, at least $8,000, but we'll have final numbers later. Live in Redmond, Amy Easley, News Channel 21. Back to you.